What's crackin', Jack? It's Saturday, November 1st, and you're in the jungle. 6 NBA games on tap tonight. Let's break them all down and come up with winning bets for them right here, right now. Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the show, and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the jungle. We're going to break down all 6 games in the association and come up with bets for all of them. And I'm going to leave for you 2 links in the comments section. The first link is to my $5 favorite play of the day. And for just $5 and no further obligation, you get my best NBA bet of the day text to your phone. Yesterday's play was the Joker, over 22.5 rebounds and assists. Congratulations to all that purchased and tailed. We've now hit 6 of our last 7 $5 favorites in the NBA. The second link is to become a Jungle member. And for as little as 55 cents a day as a member, you get my full betting card text to your phone every single morning. It's a good time to become a Jungle member. We've hit 69% of our NBA bets this season. You also get access to our members-only Discord and a direct line to me if you'd like me to opine on any other bet that you are considering placing. We have a free weekly trial. Take it for a test spin and see if it's for you. Today's video is brought to you by Outlier.bet, the top name in sports betting research, and by Red Lobster. Red Lobster, it's all about the base. About the base. No treble. Our journey this fine first day of November begins in Milwaukee with the Kings taking on the Bucks. The Bucks are minus 5.5. The over-under is set at 232.5. Now, Giannis is questionable in this game, so we're going to stay away from a side here until we have more information. If Giannis plays, I like the Bucks minus the 5.5. Milwaukee's off to a fast start, coming off 2 home wins against the Knicks and the Warriors by 10 points and by 11 points. Sacramento has struggled, losing their last 3 games. So we're going to be safe for the sake of the video and stay away from a side until we know more about Giannis and take the under 232.5. These are 2 top 15 defenses in terms of points allowed. Together they score 231 and they give up 230 a game. So if Giannis plays here, we're on the Bucks minus the 5.5. If he doesn't, we're on the under total 232.5. Minnesota at Charlotte. Hornets are plus 5.5. Over-under is set at 230.5. Both teams are 2-3. Anthony Edwards is out for Minnesota. Brandon Miller, of course, out for Charlotte, and LaMelo Ball is questionable, trending toward not playing, but that could change, of course. Take Minnesota minus the 5.5 either way. Charlotte's only 2 wins were against Washington and Brooklyn. The last 2 games Charlotte played, they lost by 24 to Miami and by 16 to Orlando. With a superstar out for either team, the better defensive team usually holds the edge in the matchup, and that's the Minnesota Wolves here. I'd also look at Julius Randle over 25.5 points. He's been over this line in 3 of his last 4 games against teams better defensively than Charlotte is. He's getting over 35 minutes a game, taking 16 shots and 8 free throws a game. Minnesota minus the 5.5, and look at Randle's over points prop. Orlando at Washington. Magic minus 8.5, over under at 234.5. The Wizards have been an underdog by this line of 8.5 or more 3 times this season. They covered against the Heat in Miami. They did not cover in Milwaukee. They did not cover in Oklahoma City. I think they will cover the 8.5 in this game, though. Orlando's been a little bit overvalued so far by the books this season. They failed to cover it in 5 out of 6 games, and have only covered this margin of 8.5 points once. I'd also look at Franz Wagner over 21.5 points. Franz Wagner has exceeded this line in 4 out of his 6 games this season. He's getting 36 minutes a game, shooting 16 times and taking 6 free throws. I like the Wizards plus the 8.5, and also look at Vonzer's over points prop. Golden State at Indiana. Those poor Pacers, bless their heart. Pacers plus 10.5, over under at 230.5. I said in yesterday's video that I can't trust the Pacers until they get some of their shooters back. They're missing 5 of their 8 best players and having a really hard time scoring. They're coming off of back-to-back last night against Atlanta, where they lost by 20 points at home. Now they got to turn it around again and do it the next night with a depleted squad. The Pacers are 0-6, and it's understandable with the injuries they're dealing with, but they're going to have to contend with the 7th best 3-point shooting team in Golden State and the 12th highest scoring team. Indiana lost their last 4 games and scored just 108, 105, 110, and 103 in those games. They've lost all 6, but their last 4 and their losses just 108, 105, 110, and 103. In fact, the only time they scored over 110 this season was in a double overtime game. Lay the big number with the Warriors on the road. Houston at Boston. Houston minus 5.5. The over-under is at 225.5. Houston is 2-2. Boston 3-3. Celtics on a back-to-back coming home from Philly after a 1-point win yesterday over the Sixers. Houston's been off since Wednesday, so they're fresh, and they've won their last 2 games by 18 points in Toronto and 28 at home against the Nets. Boston has only covered the spread 33% of games this season. Houston has covered it 3 out of 4, and I expect them to do that again tonight in Boston. Houston's the fresher team. I think they're the better team. They've always been physical and good defensively the last couple years, but the addition of Kevin Durant has proven fruitful so far on the offensive side of things. They're number 1 in scoring in the NBA. They score 127.8 points a game compared to Boston, who scores just 14 a game. Who scores 14 less a game than Houston. Houston scoring 127.8, Boston scoring 14 points less. Also, Houston does better at being Boston offensively than what Boston likes to do, and that's shoot the three-pointer. Houston is the second best three-point shooting team in the association right now. They make 40.7% of their threes to Boston's 32.8%. They're 25th. I lay the 5.5 with the Rockets on the road. Dallas at Detroit, last game up today, kind of a short slate. Detroit's minus 7.5. Over-under is at 225.5. Dallas is 2-3. They've been off since Wednesday, and it's worth noting their last game, they barely escaped a 2-point victory at home over the depleted Pacers. Glassman Anthony Edwards is out again for Dallas, so is Derek Lively. Daniel Gafford is questionable, and if Gafford does play, he'll be on a very limited minutes restriction. They're going to be very careful with him because of all their problems at center. All signs point in this game to laying the 7.5 with the Pistons. Dallas has a hard time scoring, and the Pistons have been very good defensively. They're 8th in points allowed and 5th in opponents' field goal percentage. The Pistons have also covered the spread 3 of their last 4 games. I like Detroit at home minus the points. Let's have a day, Jungle Nation, and I'll see you tomorrow with a little more money in your pocket.